This week on the podcast, Carrie and I are sharing our thoughts on the 2024 news that was released, including tickets, dining plan return. Wow. But, of course, we have to cover the Muppets Mayhem. You want to stay tuned and hear what we think about this new series, and it's pretty much spoiler-free. Safe to listen to if you haven't watched the episodes yet. And before we get started on this week's podcast, I'm going to read the rating and review that we forgot to read halfway through. This rating and review comes from SKING2482 via Apple Podcasts in the United States, and it's titled Perfect Timing. This review says, I can't say how much I enjoy listening to your podcast. You two are hilarious, and I can always guarantee that you make me smile and laugh while listening. Keep up the good work. I also want to thank you for doing these last two podcasts on the episodes you choose. We are going to Walt Disney World in June, and the 7 tips were so helpful. And we were just talking about grocery delivery the other day, so the timing couldn't be more perfect. Thanks for being phenomenal podcasters. I look forward to the next episode. Thank you so much for that rating and review. Carrie and I are over the moon when we hear from you guys, so make sure you leave us a rating and review when you can. And now, stay tuned for this week's podcast. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Well, hello, Carrie.
Hello there, pal.
How are you this week?
Fantastic.
You're fantastic?
Muppetsational. Muppet, however they...
Inspiration. What is it? Muppetational. Now.
Let's just stop.
Okay, let's stop. Oh, my goodness. You know, I had someone tell me yesterday that, we just start our podcast. He's like, after you say, hi, Carrie, and then you guys just start laughing. So here's the conundrum or the confusion in my brain. We have listeners that reach out to us and say, love listening, blah, 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 but they're Disney peoples. Mm-hmm. I have people at my work that listen who are not Disney peoples.
What do these peoples, what are these peoples? These peoples you speak of?
These peoples are, two of them are my work husbands. So one of them, he goes to Disney begrudgingly once in a while when his wife says, okay, enough, we haven't been recently. Mm-hmm. So fine. And the other one, I think he went to Disney when he was like a kid or something. And he's completely not a Disney person. But every week he calls me with something from the podcast.
Because he supports you.
Well, I know you've got friends who listen too, but they're generally Disney people, aren't they?
Yeah, generally they're Disney people. I've had a few people listen, but I don't know if they continue to listen or they just listen a few times to get a laugh out of us.
Well, we're still working on putting together the episode of some of our favorite funny moments. Only because it's going to take me forever to go back through the clips to find some of them. So I have to set aside a weekend to do it, but we are working on that. So, and we've had people send in their favorites and voice notes. So we have those all saved for when we get to that.
Cool.
That's exciting. Yeah. So what else is going on?
Not much. Just the Muppets this week. That's all that matters, really.
Oh, I know.
So.
I know. So we said we wanted to talk a little bit about the new news, the late breaking. I don't know if it's late breaking anymore, but it's news. And then, of course, we want to talk a little bit about the Muppets because
just a little bit.
You may as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what news with Gary Gnu are we covering this week?
Well, the news this week was 2024 is opening up for Walt Disney World and the dining plan's coming back. There was a wave from all of the Disney fans' homes across North America. They all did the wave like you do at a baseball game. Everybody was so excited that the dining plans are coming back. So that was the big news.
So the 2024, I don't normally like, I don't understand because I don't book that far in advance, but people are like chomping at the bit to book like next August vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Disney
because
people do, except
I
for
know.
us.
So it's exciting because then people, they have a countdown. They have something to look forward to. They've locked in their resort. And it's a good idea because then you lock in whatever prices in case, you know, heaven forbid, Disney increase them.
They will regularly, their annual.
Yeah, their annual, by the way. But the dining plan was a bit, people have been asking about that for so long, Carrie. So long.
And there's lots of people that have the feeling that, like, even though we've been traveling for a year and a bit more from Canada anyways, that there's lots of people that think that, not think or know, like, I'm not saying that they're wrong, that they can't do a Disney trip without it. So they've been holding off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's very true. Like, so many people think that this is just, it's part of the vacation, and without it, everything wasn't back.
Yeah, because the dining plan gives you the opportunity to prepay for pretty much all of your food, like, other than your gratuities or, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and you're basically buying, you're buying the meal ahead of time, but not selecting your meal. So you're buying like the credits that go with the meal. So you would get one entree, one dessert, or whatever in the package. So when I looked at the packages, though, Carrie, it looks like they might be missing a snack or two. It looks like they've removed a snack from the dining plan.
So does the we probably should have pulled that up. Is it well, they took away, there's no deluxe dining plan, first off, right? Because before we had a DDP, there's the DP, there's the QS, there's the DP, and then there was a DPP, and there's no more DPP. There's no deluxe dining plan. So now it's the regular, what we would call the regular dining plan. The dining plan. And that one, I think, is a table service, a quick service, and then just one snack?
Yeah.
Was it always that way? Did they both have two, or did just the quick service have two? I can't remember.
No, I think they both had two. They both had two. And because that's why so many, and maybe it makes sense that people weren't using them, because you could remember, you would see those posts all the time of people stacking up, so they'd have like 15 snack credits left at the end of their vacation, and they'd
bring home like, 18 Ghirardelli chocolate bars home or something.
Exactly. So maybe they did the analysis and figured out people weren't using the extra snacks. So they cut that back, but will the price reflect it?
Well, they didn't tell us the price.
Exactly.
We'll know the price when we can book 2024.
Exactly. Which is quite brilliant marketing in my mind, because you've released the details of the dining plan that says, yay, we're coming back, because everybody's excited about that. Here's what you get in it. We only have the 2 plans, so super simple. But we're not going to tell you the price, because now you're going to spend the next 3 or 4 weeks thinking, oh, the dining plan's back. This is great, blah, blah, blah. When the price comes out, you already are predisposed that you're going to get it for your next vacation. You've already decided in your mind that this is the best thing since sliced bread. So you've got to get the dining plan.
Or it also gives a window, like, they can't announce it and have people, like, with their pitchforks complaining that the prices have increased.
Exactly.
So
they've got this whole lovely kumbaya, rah-rah, we like our dining plans, and then they'll hit us with the price later. But but was it strategic? Maybe they got rid of the snacks so that they didn't have to increase the price quite so much, right? Like,
that could be the case. Like, maybe it'll be very similar to the previous prices, just without a snack.
Yeah, maybe. Now, you and I have both done the dining plan, and we both have opinions about it, even before the price is released. What do you think? Will you get the dining plan next year?
I probably would consider doing it sometimes if I was on a shorter stay, maybe. That's when I have done it. Like, if I've just been there for a couple of days. Like, I don't know that I've ever done it on a big, long trip. But because I don't really like, for me, even Disney, wherever I travel, like, after I've been away for so long, like, I don't want to eat out. Like, I don't want to eat out and have heavy meals and all that stuff. Like, I'm good the first couple days, I'm excited. But then later on, I just want like a fruit salad or something. Like, I just want a bowl of oatmeal. I'm like that all the time. Doesn't matter where I'm traveling to. Like, after a while, I don't want to.
You're done.
I've never done it for a big long trip. I've only done it for a couple of days, which would make sense for me. Because there's no way on like day 5, 6, and 7 I still want to do a big sit down meal and have, a lot of food.
Right.
I don't know why. I'm always like that. Las Vegas, big cities, wherever I am, I always get like that.
You're like, after a certain number of days. Now, what if you balance the days out? Like, if you really had light meals maybe in the beginning, then after a while you might be okay. But that, like, it's so much planning too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. It's every single day with the dining plan, right? So
yeah.
So
unless
that's why I think for me,
deluxe, your signature.
Yeah,
dining,
that's true.
Where you could double them up.
Now that I'm a signature diner, I can double
you're a
like
signature gal.
So you can trade in 2 dining table serve credits for a signature dining. Yeah. So that could be that might work. That'd be a good option for me, for sure.
But then I wonder, are they going to adjust the menus too? Because in the past, when you had to trade in the 2 sit-down dinners for a signature, you could clearly see the price, like the difference in those 2 restaurants to make it worthwhile trading in 2 credits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this stuff. For me, I'm not a big dining plan gal because I feel like I hate having a track. Like, I have 4 credits left. I have 2. Now I got to book a dining, blah, blah. Like that. The quick service for me was okay. But I like it depending on who I'm traveling with. So if I'm traveling with someone or a family or whatever, and we're going to be eating together every night for dinner or something, I don't want to argue over the bill when it comes. And when I say argue, it's not like argue, I'm not going to pay it, but we're usually fighting over who's picking up this one. Let me give you cash. Did I give you enough? Blah, blah. Like, it's always a big deal. So this way, you don't have to worry about it. Like, you just split the tip and be done. Or you just charge the tip to the room and then you divide it when you, like, at the end of the week kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So for me, the dining plan's all about convenience. It just makes it easy when you're traveling with people.
And I would think too, like, if you had, like, if you had lots of, not, maybe you didn't want to eat a table service every single day, but if you had a certain hefty amount of dining you wanted to do, right? Like, 5 of your 7 days, like,
yeah.
I just, like, to me, and even if you think you're going to break, like, because I know before people would figure out spreadsheets on how to, like, break even, how to spend more, how to get the most out of it. But, like, for me personally, like, I would think that I would still be inclined to do the dining plan in situations like you had, like with your with a bigger family or whatever, just so that you don't have to pay it like you don't have to rack it up during your trip. Like, I think I'd be like, well, I'll just make like, if I bought it and I knew it, then I would plan accordingly and, like, figure that I used it the best that I could. But, like, even just one person traveling and going for, a couple of days, and or even when we were away, like, the signature dining, like, you just spend lots of money on food, buying snacks and treats, and if you have to buy water and pop and all that stuff, like, it adds up. And, like, I would much rather, like, not have to worry about that and have it prepaid.
And like, you've already
and have thousands of dollars on your credit card when you're going home.
Well, now that you're a signature gal, that's how it rolls, right? So if you pre-planned and you had, like, you'd already paid off $500 before you got there, it makes a big difference when you come home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's totally convenience and not worrying. And also, it makes me, I don't know, maybe it's psychological, but it makes me try different food. So if I'm sitting in a sit-down restaurant, and there's something that maybe I've always thought, I'd like to try that dish, but it's like $35. For some reason, I paid the $35, whether I have the dining plan or not. But if I'm on the dining plan, I'm much more inclined to try something else because in my brain, I feel like I'm not paying for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would totally try something a little bit out there because I'm not paying for it. But if I got to put my cash down on the table for $35, I'm going to order something I know I'm going to like. Mm-hmm, it's very psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our thoughts on so we'll have to go through this all. We'll have a whole episode maybe once we get all the deets. Mm-hmm. So once 2024 is out, we see the pricing, we see the dining plans, and they've got to do something about reservations. Like, if you're going to have dining plans, we got to make it easy for people to get reservations.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Hopefully they figured that out. Maybe that's why they're giving it there. It's not till January. And it makes sense that they would open it up, you know, when they're opening up the new year. Like, I think we kind of always assumed that it would be, you know, I don't know that we ever thought it was just going to pop up and be back like
out of the blue.
In the middle of August or whatever. Like, it makes sense to kind of unveil it with a new year or whatever. So,
yeah.
But it's crazy. Like, think about how long we've been waiting for it to come back and like hoping, like we were hoping it was coming back when 2023 opened.
I know. Like, we've been waiting a long time, but there was no way they could have opened it earlier because half the restaurants weren't even open. They weren't operating at capacity. They had all sorts of issues getting reservations, different things. I just hope that this is a sign that they're expecting things to all be back by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Like, we only have one Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique.
Yeah, they need
the other two. Because I had someone who's booking a last minute trip and she's like, what are the chances? I'm like, not good. Like, well, like, I gotta be honest. There's only one and the other two haven't opened and you can hope for cancellation. Like, it's...
You know what I find now too with a lot of people when you're chatting to them about their trips is that, like, when they Google things, they see a lot of old information, and not that they like. It's not that they should understand that it's old or new or whatever, and not like they're coming and saying there's 3 Bibbidi Bobbidi boutiques, but they'll be like, isn't there more than one?
Yeah,
like, cause right, like it's more like that. Like, isn't there dining at the whatever? Isn't there whatever character meal at the Grand Floridian? Like, you know, it's because they've seen it out there. So I find a lot of that, like, people are finding. Yes. Some older stuff like that, and it's like, but we're kind of in limbo. Like, you know, there should be more than one Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique. We don't know when they're coming back, but you know, there was more princess dining, but we don't know what. But that's why I find out everyone, like, because everyone Googles a little bit, and then you're always having to say, well, not yet. Like, when we've been saying not yet all along, but yeah, like, they're in Facebook groups and people are reading what people did like 4 years ago, like their must-dos and all of that stuff. So it's like, even now, after all of these couple of years of things getting back to normal, we still are having people ask us stuff where we're like, not yet, soon, not hopefully, maybe next, maybe. Well, this is why, yes, you're right, it was that, but right now, no.
Oh my God. So, I know.
So still, after 2 years or whatever, we're still not quite back to.
No. Hopefully soon. I'm hoping this is a sign.
Yeah. Bibbidi Bobbidi.
So we'll do a whole review once we see 2024.
Yes. I say a prayer at night and when you go to bed for the Bibbidi Bobbidis, please.
Okay, Carrie, we've covered the news.
Yeah. We did?
I think so. That was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's on to the more important topic.
Well, there was more stuff that was announced about Park Pass reservation stuff, but
we didn't even talk about Park Pass.
But we're going to say, like, we don't even know that we really understand all of it.
Well, no, it didn't it sounded a little confusing, and then it sounded like you didn't need Park Pass reservations if you bought tickets that had a date.
Yeah.
Which means annual pass holders still need Park Pass reservations.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's what I get from it. But you know what, Carrie? So much of it's going to change between now and then. Like, they change things all the time.
We'll talk about it later.
Like, why fuss about it, right? Yeah.
True. Yeah, it might be different.
Might be different
by January, whatever it is. 9th, 6th, something, whatever, 9th, I think.
I think it's the 9th. Yeah.
Yeah, true enough, right. Gives us some time to understand it and wrap our head around it if it is a little confusing. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just simple.
Maybe we overcomplicate it.
I always got to read into it a little bit more.
You do. Carrie, what is that noise? Is that your cat? Is your cat... Well, no? Oh, I thought I heard your cat.
Meow, meow.
I thought I heard your cat at the door. Like, I keep hearing this thud.
Oh, no. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Sorry. I'll stop moving.
Okay. You're not going to stop moving because we remember when you used to hit the arm of your boom mic or whatever. And
I got rid of it.
I know. It's yeah.
I can't help it. I gotta move a little bit.
You're a hand talker.
Yeah, maybe we need to maybe I need a better studio instead of my desk here in my Muppet room.
Well, you're in the Muppet room, so that's like the perfect place to be.
Well, it's not really a Muppet room. It's my office with a few Disney things in it.
It's your office with a few Disney things and a bunch of Muppet. Like, Carrie, I'm looking at you right now, and Rolf is over your shoulder. So, yeah, it's a Muppet room.
It's not. My Muppets, my Kermits are all at work. All my Kermits are at work.
That's true. You should see Carrie's Kermits. But anyway, Carrie.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus, streaming now.
Yeah.
The Muppets Mayhem.
Yes.
So I messaged you the other day and said, like, and you're like, I need more people to weigh in on it because I think it's fantastic.
I think it's just right. Like, that's like my first instinct was like, it feels right. Like, I had to watch, I haven't sat and watched it every single episode, like doing nothing but watching it. Like, I've let it stream while I was working. I streamed it last night when I was doing stuff around my desk and in my room here. And I've watched some episodes. Like this morning I watched some. Like, I've watched the series at least twice through, right? It's not very long. It's 10 episodes times 30 minutes or whatever. But yeah, my first instinct when I was watching the first couple, I was like, yeah, this is right. This is, they did good by this.
So we should say, if anybody doesn't want any spoilers, maybe skip ahead to our Pixie Dust. We'll be a bit general. But
it's the Muppet Mayhem.
I got questions. And
you got questions?
I watched, so I think I'm on episode 7. Like, I couldn't stop watching. The only reason I stopped was because I was falling asleep on the couch, so I couldn't, finish it.
The Muppet Mayhem.
I love the Electric Mayhem. I messaged you last night and was like, I don't remember Lips. I don't remember him from the original.
Right.
And I keep wanting to call, what's her name? The girl. Janice Lips. Because she's got such big lips.
Grief.
But... there we go. So I don't remember Lips in the original Muppets. And right. I don't remember them having a trumpet player.
So Lips was he was in the Electric Mayhem a lot later, very late. So
maybe not the OG. He came in to
far from later. It. Yeah, much later. And he was also, you would see him in the orchestra. In front of he would be down there playing the trumpet. And he didn't Lips as we've got to know him in the Muppet Mayhem episodes is not the Lips that anybody would have known before. So he wouldn't have said much.
He talks a lot. I don't understand what he says, but he talks a lot. He was just a trumpet. Let's to generalize it. He was just a trumpet player before. So. Oh, okay.
So, and really, the Electric Mayhem before, in Muppet movies or on the Muppet Show, Dr. Teeth would say his, that's, the crazy stuff that he says, that's inspirable or whatever. He says, he makes up all of his words, right? Phantasmical, whatever. So, he would say that stuff,
But they were supporting characters, right? They were out front?
Not too much. They would be in the skits as part of bands or part of the band or when they had the musical guests, they would be the backup band. But yeah, in the Muppet movies, they would be in the Muppet movies and they would pop in and they were a traveling band. They would meet them in places and they you just knew the little things they did. Janice would say for sure, and an animal would scream, and Floyd would usually translate animal or say a word or two, because he was always He did that, and Dr. Teeth would like, all right, and then just say his like crazy things. Like that was an Electric Mayhem.
Yeah,
like that was it.
That was all of them.
Like they've been around from the very beginning, and they've been in the Muppet movies, and they've been in all the other things that they've done generally. Like not in every Muppet thing since, but they've been there all along for like the last 50 years in the Muppets, but we didn't really know who the Electric Mayhem was. And when this came out, when I knew it was going to be the Electric Mayhem, I'm like, what on earth are they going to do? Like, I like the Electric Mayhem, but I was never really big fans. Like, I'm like, yeah, they're the Muppets, they're awesome, like they're the band, but like I never really thought much more of them. I liked them all, and that was it. And I thought, what the heck are they going to do? They're going to make a series on the Electric Mayhem. And I was like, okay, let's just see how this goes. It's pretty cool.
I gotta say, I'm kind of loving it.
It's awesome.
And I did, because I guess I didn't realize they are it. They're the focal point of this whole series.
Yeah, there's no Fozzie Bears, there's no Gonzos, there's no Kermits, there's no nothing. It's the Electric Mayhem.
And the premise of this is that there is a recording studio that they are contracted to, that they owe an album to from years ago.
Yes,
like
because
they never fulfilled their contract.
In the Electric Mayhem fashion, of course they didn't.
Because they're a bit scattered. But
they're a bit scattered, yes.
Like, this whole series, like, it shows so much of their backstory that I love. And, like, flashbacks are amazing. And, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But I love... So, not only do I love it, but we talked about this when we talked about, like, the Muppets Haunted Mansion and stuff. The stars. And I know way back when it was a big deal. Like, all the big time stars, they always wanted to be, like, if you were on the Muppets, you made it, right? But even to this day, it just seems so bizarre to see, like, some of the biggest stars show up in the Muppets.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And last night I'm watching it, and I know there were big stars that I don't know who they are because they're new stars. Like, they're not old. Like, the people of our generation and older, those stars know what a big deal it is to be on the Muppets. But you got new stars. Like, these are new, like, rappers and TV personalities and producers, and they're young, who know it's a big deal to be on the Muppets.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I'd be watching it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, is that? And then I'm like, is that Cheech and Chong? is that Tommy Lee from Motley Crue? Like, really?
Well, and that's what makes it, of course, there has to be celebrity
amazing,
like, cameos. And I think, like, when I think about when they did the Muppets Now and the other one, the last two that they did, not Muppets Haunted Mansion, like, they did cameos a little different. Like, the cameos that are in the Muppets Mayhem are how cameos are supposed to be. Like, they're just supposed to surprise you, and they just surprise you, and they're awesome. So,
and they come out of nowhere, and you didn't know, like, but they're perfect to the story. Like, where Cheech and Chong showed up is exactly where you would expect them to be.
And it's just hilarious. Like, the whole, like, it's so funny, the story. Like, it is so, like, perfectly in line and lines up with, like, because we know nothing about the about the Electric Mayhem, but how they laid it out is exactly how you would expect it to be. Like, with the storyline and where they end up and the history and the flashbacks and just the journey they've been on. Like, of course that's the journey that they've been on, but, like, had any of us ever thought about how, like, you know, what was behind them?
Yes.
And, like, I think they had a blank canvas here to figure out their origin stories of each of the characters.
Oh my gosh. Are you not loving the origin? How Dr. Teeth got his gold tooth.
Love it. And who knew Janice had a twin? Spoiler alert, Janice had a twin.
I know, and she has the same lips.
And I think the one thing I thought about all of these characters is, like, I liked them before, but, like, right now they did such a good job telling the stories of them all and showing us, you know, what's been happening to the to the mayhem since the Muppet Show. That like I can't even decide which one I like the most. Like I love them all. Like I love every single one of them so much right now. I couldn't even pick a favorite. I absolutely, because they did such a good job showing like the depth of these characters and their stories and how awesome they are and how funny they are, that I couldn't even choose a favorite. I couldn't, and I love
You are so right. They have depth.
Mm-hmm. Like who would have thought? They do though. And honestly, like the what they like Lips is just unbelievable, that character. And I never really loved Animal. Like I thought, you know, Animal's fine or whatever, but even Animal's different. Like there's like I really like Animal all of a sudden. Like there's just
he's
like,
got heart.
You know, he doesn't. He's not just chasing woman. He's not just chasing. He's not just banging a drum and running off the stage going woman. Like you see that he has a heart and he's got a bit of a brain in there too. And he's a great, spoiler alert, hibanachi chef. What do you call it?
Oh my God. Hibanachi. What?
I can't say it because we need to.
He can work at Tempanito.
He can get a job at Epcot at the Tempanito.
Yeah, did you see the breakfast he was flipping up? It was amazing.
But yeah, it was good.
He has like a heart. He's got like he thinks. He's very I felt emotionally connected to him. And Baby Animal,
and I think we always knew like they took care of him, and you know, like Floyd would you know, would have Animal by his chain, or you'd like calm him down and all that stuff. But they kind of explain like why and the connection between Floyd and Animal, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what about Zoot? Did you have any comments about Zoot?
Oh,
I even love him.
Oh my gosh.
He can't remember barely himself.
He can't remember nothing. And I feel like I relate to Zoot.
Me too.
Very much. I feel like I relate to him so much. And I even love the people characters in this. Mm-hmm. Like the casting they did for the girl and like it's just I feel for her. And then her social media star sister and what's his name? Oh my gosh. The dude. Moog. Oh my gosh, I could not love Moog more.
We saw Moog at the D23. Remember, he was the one that was up on the stage when we went to the one in the middle. That's
where I know him from. He was on the. Oh my gosh, I need to go back and look at my pictures now.
Yep. For me,
and my little video clips, because I was thinking about that. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. You go on.
Well, no, because I had a question that I meant to text you last night and I forgot. Mm-hmm. When did they get legs?
They've always had legs. Like, how else are they going to walk around and drive and be on stage?
But when they were on stage at the very beginning and they were like kind of dancing, I was very confused because they all. Stupid question.
Of course they do.
They all had legs and they were dancing. So then where are the puppet people? If the legs were on stage and the body is on stage, where are the puppet people?
Well, I would expect now they might do a little bit of, you know, CGI, whatever, green screen stuff. But like back in the day, like they used to have like Kermit and Piggy, like they all rode through a park on bicycles. And they had legs, and they had like invisible strings, and they had the bikes on whatever to get them. Yeah. Like they've been making the Muppets legs do awesome things for a long time.
It seems so weird because at the events like D23 and stuff, and I'm so focused now on the puppeteers that I was like mesmerized by them on stage going, but where are the people? Where's the Matt Vogel? Where is he when the legs are there? Like I was very confused.
He's Floyd Pepper.
He's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. I'm not surprised. I'm just happy because, and I no matter what, I always will like it to a certain degree for sure because it's the Muppets.
Well, yeah, it's the Muppets.
And I have to let it sink in sometimes, like, you know, like watch it a couple times to see and really enjoy it. But this one was a home run for me. Now, for the people, characters, the real people, for me, the Nora Lily Singh, I don't know this woman. I've watched her on YouTube for years and years. She's a Canadian YouTuber. Her name is Lily Singh.
You're kidding.
Superwoman. That was what she was when she was younger. She was from Scarborough.
She's way.
In Markham. She's got YouTube videos that have had billions and billions of views, and she's always done like sketch comedy. She got into, she went to York University, and she got into doing YouTube, like struggling with like depression and struggling with just being a confused 20-something-year-old trying to figure out what you want to do in life. And she became a YouTube star, like years and years and years ago. For years, I've been watching. Like I don't watch her as much, and she doesn't do as much now because she's went more Hollywood. But she's always wanted to be She's always wanted to be an actress. She's lived in California for many years now, but she legit started as a Scarborough, Markham, whatever YouTuber, and
that's amazing.
And as a worldwide celebrity, like one of those YouTubers that years ago that did world tours and made a show and all of that stuff. And I don't know this woman, obviously, but I watched her and I was proud of her. I felt so proud of her because like when you watch people on YouTube, you don't really know, like you get to know them to a certain extent, and the way that she performs and Nora is really Lily. Like it is a lot, you know, like she's went to Hollywood to try to, she wanted to be an actress in the end. She's done skits, comedies, like that was her main thing. She did all kinds of skits and comedies. And when she got bigger, she had like little production teams and hired actors. And like she has done like crazy stuff over the years. And she went to Hollywood because in the end, she wanted to be an actress. But when she performs and like I'm watching her and knowing her, how she talks and what she says and just her voice and like really, like I see a lot of her and it's almost like it's very natural. That role that Nora is very natural for her to be, or maybe some of Lily is in that Nora, but even some of the words she said and the way she said it, like I've seen her talk that way and act that way and be that person for years and years on her YouTube channel. And like legit, like, I don't know if people will, like, what people will think because, you know, people are critical of all of this Muppet stuff. Like, I think, like you said, I like them, all of the characters. And I was especially, I felt proud for her. And I thought that was silly, like, but I wanted to say it.
No, not at all. I think that's
it's weird
amazing.
Can you be proud of somebody that you don't know? Or
Absolutely.
you know, whatever. But I legit felt proud for her. And it only was like a couple episodes in. By episode 3, I was like, I just couldn't believe it, like that she had this opportunity, and she does.
That's
from
amazing.
knowing her from her YouTube side. Like I think that if anybody knows her or has followed her, can be critical of what she's done in this role. Like maybe if somebody doesn't know her, they might be like, or any of them. Like I don't know those other 2 characters. Like maybe the one guy's he might have been on Disney Channel or whatever. But like knowing her and seeing her, what she's done over these years, like I think she's perfect for like she did a great job in my opinion.
She did. I knew none of that backstory. I just thought she was an actress, whatever. And yeah, like I whatever she's done, she's funny. She's got that kind of shtick that comes with being on any of the Muppet shows. However, I am like emotionally invested in this woman. Like I am emotionally invested in her. And I'm rooting for her. Like, she's done such a great job. And the way she interacts with these guys, it's pretty impressive. And I totally think you can be proud of someone you don't know. You've been invested in her story.
Yeah. She's Canadian. She's
I had
from
no
our
idea.
neighborhood.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to look her up.
And it's not surprising because she's done like sketch comedies on her YouTube that she would be able to work, you know, with puppets because she, you know, it's just her personality and she's always a comedian. Like she's always tried to be funny and whatever. So it does make sense. So
what do you think of the boss of the record label, Puppet?
Penny.
Muppet?
I love her.
Oh my gosh, she makes me laugh.
And I have to admit, when I see a new puppet like that, or maybe she's not new. I'm not sure. I didn't check back. But when I see, like, I haven't did a deep dive into Penny yet. But when I see something that's strange, I usually am like, I don't know, what are they going to do with this? Like, you know, but it's what you do with a Muppet movie. There's all kinds of regular human beings, but then they still throw in these side puppets like that, right? Side Muppets like that. So it made sense, but yeah, it didn't take long. I wonder,
how did they choose that? Like, how did they choose that the head of the studio is going to be a puppet and not a person, but yet the head of the other studio is a person, not a puppet?
I don't know, because they need to, because...
It just works. It just works.
It's pretty cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And I have to say, after, like, so I knew you'd love it because you're a Muppet person, so you're predisposed. But for me, quite honestly, some of these things, I'm like, oh, another Muppet thing coming out, okay? Like, I like the Muppets, but I don't love the Muppets, right? But I gotta tell you, this for me felt a little Haunted Mansion Muppet. Meaning, I sat down to watch it thinking, I'll watch it. And like by the end of the first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch another one. Like I told you, the only reason I haven't finished it is because I was falling asleep. It's good. It's good. It's entertaining. I was laughing out loud. Like I can't remember what the line was, but they were saying something about how Penny likes to be squeezed or whatever. And he suggested buying her compression socks. I almost fell off the couch. Like there's just some, like I literally was laughing out loud by myself.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. So
it's just awesome.
Now, we are going to be on another podcast talking about them as well. So we've got a lot to catch up on this, on the Muppets.
So everyone, and I don't think, I guess if people skipped ahead and if they tuned in now, there's not a lot of spoilers. We kept it spoiler free.
Yeah, we kept it spoiler free.
And it really won't take you too long to watch it. I hope that with like having, like Lily as the character, the main character, and those other characters like Moog and
I love
Hannah.
Him.
Like though, like I'm assuming that they're probably well known for whatever, like been on other things, Disney things or whatever. Like I hope that just brings in another generation of Muppet fans. Like I hope it opens up the eyes of their eyes to Muppets, because I know there's lots of people that don't know who the Muppets are. So
but it works both ways. Like, there's lots of people that don't know who the Muppets are, but there's lots of people watching the Muppets because they like the Muppets and they know the Muppets from childhood who don't know who half these people are that are in the show.
True. Like the celebrity guest.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, have you had to, like, there were lots where I was like, is that a famous person or is that just like an extra? Like, honest to gosh, I had no idea. Like, so the dude that worked as the coffee boy or whatever. Is he famous?
I don't know.
Okay. What about the Zed dude? He's like some music guy.
I think he's he's just a regular character.
He's just a regular character. But what about the little guy that was talking about his grill? I felt like he was a rapper.
Yeah, he is.
When he was talking about how he got his grill because he was inspired or whatever, I felt like he was a famous person.
Yeah, he is.
Do you know who he is?
Yes. We can't tell everybody who all the cameos are.
Oh, okay. So I won't tell.
Because it's surprising. That's the best part of the cameos, that you're like, after another after another after another.
Okay, so yeah, so there were a lot of cameos.
There might be a few more that I didn't recognize, because there could be some that
like Carrie, I was Googling stuff and then I was just like, forget it, I'm just going to enjoy it. If I don't know them, I don't know them. But I felt like there were lots where they brought out people and I was like, I feel like I've seen them before.
Like if you think about the old Muppet movies, it's the same way. It's one after another, right?
Yeah.
Like and I would think if younger people watched them old Muppet movies, they wouldn't know who any of those cameos are. But
I'm fairly certain there's some young kids today that are watching the Muppets, and they're all up about this rapper and have no idea who Cheech and Chong are, right?
Oh,
like,
sure.
So yeah, it goes. I think that's probably one of the things I love about it too. It's how it brings, like, there's something for everybody in it. There is literally something for everyone in it. Yeah, I really loved it.
Good.
I really did. Okay, Carrie.
Yep.
Oh.
What? What?
We're at that time of the podcast and I didn't think of any pixie dust stuff.
Oh, my pixie dust is the Muppet Mayhem and how it's made my week the best.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm taking the Muppets because that is pure. That is a pure pixie dust. The fact that I had a little bit of angst of what to expect, and then to be so delightfully. It's not even surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, but I just get so happy when it's just as awesome as I expected. Yeah, and I shouldn't have doubted. But I just didn't know what they were going to do with this Electric Mayhem. Like, again, I said at the beginning what we knew of these characters, right? Like, they all spoke a couple of words, and then they made a 10-part series on their history. So,
is it really that you didn't doubt it? I think you're scared, which is what I am too. Like, when they try to reboot or redo something, you're like, oh, don't ruin. Like, they were so good that I'm worried that you're going to do something that'll ruin it. And that's the fear. And it's like, no, you made it 10 times better. Like, you're going to watch old Muppets and be like, oh, and you're going to see Floyd and those guys in a different light.
And one other thing I was thinking too, when I was thinking about this morning, was that they also, like, the last couple of Muppet things they did, like the ones that like take me a little bit more time to decide, like, you know, to really see the humor in it or whatever, because I'm a little standoffish, is because they're different. And like they didn't change the Electric Mayhem at all. No. Like, they really let them be who they are and explain that why they are the way they are is who they are today and how they're not going to change, right? Like, they really truly, like, they did, you know, the main characters are young people and they had to like bring in some of today, but like they didn't make it necessarily the focus. Whereas, like, you know, Muppets, the last Muppet one where, like, you know, it's all digital and they're trying to put on like an online show or whatever. Like, that's like, the Muppets should be in a theater. Like, they really should just reboot and I'm sure lots of Muppet fans will say they should just reboot the Muppet Show. Like, all these celebrities that they get on, you trying to tell me they can't figure out a way to do a Muppet Show again and they have no problem getting musical guests and stuff like that. But you know, like, yeah, it's they've the last couple of times they've taken out the Muppets too much out of their element, and I think this really brings it back to being what it's supposed, like, how the Muppets should be portrayed. And again, home run.
Home run.
Muppet makers, I bow to you. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job. I just love the fact that you and I sit and talk about, you know, like, they allowed them to be who they are.
It's true.
Like, their personalities to shine through, and they totally did. Like, totally.
Like, for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because Janice used to kind of bug me, but I love her.
I know, I love her. I can't pick a favorite right now.
No, I don't think I can either. I honestly don't think I can. I'm so emotionally invested. Okay.
What's your pixie dust? Could you think of some while I rambled some more? While I wanted to make sure I got that morning revelation out. That
you did. Okay, so you know what? Maybe I could say my pixie dust this week. Something that made me happy was, whatever. I'm on the spot. I got to think of something, but it brought me joy. My Instacart lady, and I've actually had the same Instacart person like 4 times now, and I love her. So I'm trying to figure out how I can just request her. Anyway, the whole I'm trying to eat a little bit healthy or whatever. So I order yogurt, but they didn't have the yogurt I wanted, and she recommended this other one. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. It was flipping phenomenal. So although the guy at work would tell me it's not healthy, so Fran, why are you eating it? But it's yogurt, so it's got to be healthy. But it's yogurt, and then it comes with like this little pouch next to it, like, and you tip the pouch up, and this stuff goes in, so it makes it crunchy yogurt.
Oh, is it that? What's the name of it?
Well, there's two. I've seen it in the store. So there's like the I can't remember the names. But it
doesn't matter. I'm not going to buy it because I don't really like yogurt.
But you might like this. So the one that I liked was like this strawberry one, but they didn't have it. So then she recommended this one. Oh my gosh! So it's got like some granola and dark chocolate. So it's really, and then you mix it all in. It's pretty good. It's pretty the guy at work, he's like, Fran, like you're kind of defeating the purpose of eating yogurt. Like, but this is also a guy that eats like an avocado for dessert. Like that's his dessert at lunch, where I sit and eat my chicken fingers, fries, and gravy. So yeah.
I stopped buying yogurt years and years ago because I know, like, I always thought it was good for you. So I would buy it and I would like buy the 12 pack or whatever, and I would eat 2 and they would expire. I've done that so many times I couldn't even count. Like, no joke. They do
expire quickly. That's the only thing.
I would at one point I said, Carrie, no more of this yogurt stuff. You're not gonna buy any more yogurt.
Well, the beauty of these ones, they come in smaller packages. They come in packages of 2. I'll send you a picture. Yeah,
I still think I should just steer clear of yogurt. We just have we don't have a good history. We just don't like each other.
You know what else I bought was granola.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what's happened to me, but I thought, well, maybe, sometimes at night when you're sitting and you just want something crunchy and salty and whatever. So then I thought, well, maybe if I had some granola, I'd eat that instead of chips. I don't know. We'll see how it works. This is, I've graduated from my, I've broken up with my seniors yoga that I was doing. I haven't gone back to her. I got to get back into that. But yeah, so this is my new thing. I can accomplish anything. I am a taskmaster, except when it comes to Fran eating healthy and moving. I am all over the place. I'm like totally ADD. I'm everywhere. One moment I'm doing seniors yoga. Now I'm buying granola. I'll let you know how it goes.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. If you've made it all the way through the podcast, don't forget. Oh, Carrie, we had a rating and review. We had a rating and review. And I said to you before we started recording,
save it for next time so that we have it at the beginning so that everybody hears it. The rating and review.
Okay.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
It does. We'll remember to do that at the beginning. You know what? I haven't recorded the intro to this, so maybe I'll just stick it on the intro.
Perfect.
We'll see. Okay. If I did, there you go. All
if
right.
not, you tune in next time.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.